Alright, so I massively, massively miscalculated a few things. I laid out, like I was talking about on stream all day yesterday, pretty much. Uh, I've been talking a lot about how I set up all of these frameworks for when I get emotional. So I have streaming on a certain schedule that works out well for me, and then I have a format of stream that works out well for me to be able to express what I have going on, and then I can dive in and get my emotional, and then I can dive back out, and then we can do something different for a little bit, which just naturally follows my cadence of how I operate internally. It works out well. I've tested the formula plenty of times. It's going pretty good. Even this portion of the exam, which is the more nascent version, probably is the one I know the least about so far, is making a video before a live stream, which is a video, and then none of it's the main channel stuff. I don't even know what that's about. I'm still figuring all of this out. I knew it would come in handy, and it already has, and I don't like it because already I'm just not in the mood. We'll get there. We'll get there. I know you're not supposed to be in the middle of a video or whatever and say that you're not in the mood, but we're there. So let's just kind of get through it a little bit. This is a no edit experience, by the way. So hopefully we're all on board with that idea. Because was in a call with the deerfish for breakfast, and I'm just emotionally compromised these days. I kind of, that makes it sound worse than it is, but compared to how it is I typically prefer to operate, I'm just operating at a suboptimal level, even by my own standards, which is pretty rough. I had to leave early because I was just like, well, I got to go get my day started because being in motion is going to help me out a lot with this emotional space that I'm in. It's just important that I stay busy. I don't want to, especially because all the things that I've built up pathways for me to be busy with are avenues for my emotional energies. Video work, and then I have streaming later on, and then some of what I had theorized this situation could be the show before the show would be to babble out my morning thoughts so I can just come into a live stream with more focus. And mainly, actually, what I'm doing today is just coming into a live stream with not necessarily more doubt, but you definitely don't want to be in a video and say, I don't want to be here. You don't want to be on a live stream and say, you don't want to be here. But I'm starting here and I just want to qualify the statement a little bit. Because what I want to do, above all things, is crawl into blankets, curl up and die. Not that bad, but I just don't want to play today. And I built out a whole system for myself, though, wherein if I don't want to play, I can just, these are the things that I can do. This is the thing. I laid down the system exactly for moments like this. It's working, basically. And I've done so much groundwork for myself to be able to be here during moments like this exact moment that the only way I could really be disappointed in myself is if I, at that point, said, I'm going to curl up in blankets and die. And it's like, oh my god, little drama llama, it's going to be fine. Because historically, it's always been fine after enough time has passed. It'll be okay. So I'm really annoyed with myself that I went through all of the trouble of having all of my YouTube channels and my streaming and my community Discord server, which I'm filming this in front of, by the way, and I didn't tell anyone I was doing it. And later on, this will be probably more of the cadence and things like that, because reaching out to people is apparently good when you're in a mental challenge space anyway. So all systems are go, and it's all things I don't have to think too hard about it. I've got the server, I've got the channels, I've got stuff going on here. And then plus, I kind of forget that I like being a kitty cat. You start a day like this, it's going to be a pretty good day. I'm just low-key annoyed that I set all of this up for myself. So now I kind of, no, not exactly bullied into using it, but it would be silly for me not to. Because I have it, and I've arranged it in such a way that I have it how I know that I've needed to have it. And there's more I would want to talk about as far as the stream today and stuff like that. But I think just being a little bit honest about where my center of emotionality is today is the only thing that would help me with the stream later on today and stuff like that. Is woke up, had breakfast with the deer fish, and then like cried a little bit on the webcam, not like a ton, but a little bit, just because I'm an emotional boy lately, and I did not want to play, and I don't have to play. Is the hard thing too with all that. No one's making me do any of this, and my partner is just so gosh darn forgiving, and not that I would need forgiveness for it or whatever, but he would be understanding. He's like, okay, well, if you need a mental health day, then just whatever. Like I could just say no. I could decide not to play today, and he'd be like, okay. Like, yeah, he'd be fine. He has way too much chill, and then I have no chill. So we're actually kind of good for each other that way. But I don't have to be here. I just am choosing to, because at some point I also don't think that I want to curl up and die. I just some days I do. But even not all parts of all of the days do all parts of me want to die. It's ridiculous, and it's very dramatic language. So we're gonna kind of bring it back, bring it back. Probably time for this to be done soon anyway, because I don't know. And that's weird too. It's like I'm acting like I have somewhere important to be. And it's like I don't, because I don't have to do anything. All that has to happen is time has to pass. And it's whether I pass it curled up in a mountain of blankets today, or I pass it in VR doing stuff that I love doing in front of people who I value and appreciate in a space where my what I do is also appreciated. And that seems like probably a more yeah place to be. It's a more place to be than curled up in blankets at home. And I'd put my blanket and then my other blanket, and then I have a mountain of pillows. So I would have pillows everywhere, and then I have a few big pillows that would also go on top. So I would just become, and that's a good system. That's a really good system. But as far as contributing things and participating to the world, it seems like a grander system of spending a few hours on stream or making a video, and then with the community server, and then there's going to be Resonite later, and we've got some fun builds on the way there. Good stuff today, and I don't want to play, but I made an entire massive, massive system with a lot of help from a lot of people, to be able to do things, whether I'm in a state like today or not. So maybe that's what this video was, the show before the show, is just, being a little bit honest about myself, where I'm at, where I'm headed, what I have in mind. Not specifically within a day, but the grand scheme of just to be honest with myself emotionally where I'm standing, which is a little dodgy. Little dodgy. A little bit of like blanket, whole, burrito, just give that man a bucket of ice cream and a romantic comedy or five. That's the kind of day that we're having. But it's gonna be a good day regardless, because there are some fun things on the way. So I'm gonna go close the video and then post this, I think. I don't know what the cadence is for that precisely. It's awkward because I think I like this, but then I have my VR gear on, but I'm not ready to start streaming yet, but I did film this. So it's like a before the show show. So I gotta fix my timing a little bit. I'll figure it out. But what I will say is I'm occupied before, I'm not in a pile of blankets. I am in fact a kitty cat man instead. So that's what this video was. I'm gonna close this video now. I hope that you enjoyed this video. That was such a video.